What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Oleksandr Usyk, Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Get this. Oleksandr Usyk eyes Deontay Wilder fight as Tyson Fury targets Anthony Joshua. Oleksandr Usyk has said Deontay Wilder would be his ideal next opponent, with the Ukrainian plotting his next move as Tyson Fury targets Anthony Joshua. Of course, we know Usyk beat Joshua to regain his unified titles, and Fury now has turned his attention towards Joshua, and talks between the Britons team have progressed quickly. Usyk therefore looks like he needs to find a different opponent for his next bout. He said Deontay Wilder, the unbeaten southpaw, told Ring Magazine when asked whom he would like to box next. He said Wilder is a dangerous fighter, and that fight would most likely be in the United States. Usyk, 35, also said that he would be likely ringside at the Wilder's upcoming fight against Robert Helenius in Brooklyn on the 8th of October. However, former world champion Andy Ruiz Jr. is also seeking a clash with Wilder, having outpointed Luis Ortiz this month. Wilder has not competed since last October, when he was stopped by Fury in the 11th round. The American, now 36 years old, and Fury fought to a controversial draw in 2018, of course, before Fury won the WBC titles in 2020. Okay. Meanwhile, Usyk is unbeaten, previously reigned as the only undisputed cruiserweight champion of the four-belt era. That is what's up with Oleksandr Usyk. Let me counterpunch. I would like that fight. I think that fight should happen for a lot of reasons. And I always say a lot of people forget the back and forth between certain people. But I remember about 4 years ago, Usyk said that he didn't like Wilder. He said Wilder talked too much. So, Wilder at that time was very, very outspoken. He doesn't talk a lot now like he used to. I think, those defeats kind of gave him, like a hidden humbleness, because he doesn't talk like he used to. He still talks, but it's not, the way he used to be, tell somebody anywhere, anytime, come do something to me, come take this belt, that was his attitude. But now it's not so much. And I remember that happened. So what Usyk said about Deontay Wilder was he talked too much. And I think anytime when, people have had words or thoughts, I think that's a good way to promote any fight. However, how realistic is Oleksandr Usyk and Deontay Wilder? And I'm not talking about stylistic wise. I'm talking about like political. How can that fight be made? We already said Usyk would be willing to come to the States. He was willing to come to Saudi Arabia, England, or the UK rather, so he was willing to do those things. And if he is there ringside, that would be a precedent to a lot of different opportunities, because one thing about Wilder, he's an interactive person. He likes the idea of someone showing up, to challenge him. And the question would be Al Heyman. Okay. What would Al Heyman advise Deontay Wilder to do? To go after the 3 belts against Usyk, or to fight Andy Ruiz in the same universe as him, or the island, or whatever you call them? And my guess would be, that Al Heyman, I don't think, would allow a fight with Oleksandr Usyk, because Al Heyman already has something strategized. I think because Andy Ruiz beat Luis Ortiz, and if Wilder beats Helenius, I think that's what he's going to match. I don't think he's going to try to get quote-unquote ambitious, because for one, it's not like it's Anthony Joshua money we're talking about here. We're talking about like the opportunity to get those belts that you claimed that you wanted, And it's an opportunity to fight for a unified title as opposed to the WBC that he's been chasing for the longest. And I just don't see Al Haymon doing that. I just don't see him doing that. Now, could it happen? Is it possible? It's possible, but probable, no. You know, because that's Al Haymon. You know, Al Haymon has Andy, he has Wilder. Maybe after that fight, that would be something. But then, you know, I would say it's up to Wilder, but it's not. It's not up to Wilder. It's up to Al Haymon. Now, does Wilder probably want that fight? I wouldn't see why he wouldn't want to go for another championship for Stroud, like a 3 or 4. Actually, it's a 4 belt possibility. Really 5, you know, because you have the IBO, the WBA, the WBO, and the Ring Magazine, right? So he would be fighting for all those belts if he could get the fight with Usyk. And if Usyk did, you know, waste his time and take his time, rather, to fly over to see Helenius take on, or Wilder take on Helenius, I think it would be worth entertaining it, to say the least. You know, at least we can see if Al Haymon would shut that shit down. At least we could see what happens, because I just don't see that, you know, fight happening. I would love to see that fight, because Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz, that's just a stay busy fight. That, you know, yeah, it's for the WBC, but at the end of the day, Wilder has done and has reached his cap when it comes to the WBC, as long as Tyson Fury has it. And he has not let up that belt. He's lost it, then he's fought for it again, and he came up short both times. So if Tyson Fury beats Joshua, that's the only cap. He's going back to the same ceiling. You know what I mean? Like, that's his cap. And to see a 4th fight, it's kind of like, okay, let's go another route. So if Deontay Wilder decides to go another route and to fight Usyk, you know, because if he beats Usyk, right, he'll be the first to do it, for 1, and for 2, he could do something that Anthony Joshua didn't do. Bars. So I feel that it's a lot of reasons for that fight to happen, you know, but the question is, will it? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Oleksandr Usyk eyeing Deontay Wilder as the next possible opponent. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!